Saint Genevieve, patroness of Paris, was born around 422 in the village of Nanterre near the Roman town of Lutetia. She was the only child of Severus and Gerontia, hard-working peasants, and tended her family's sheep. When she was 7 years old, Bishop Germanus of Auxerre stopped in Nanterre on his way to Britain. Amid the crowd seeking his blessing, he singled out the little girl and foretold that she would belong entirely to God. At her request, he led her into the village church and consecrated her as a virgin, placing a small brass cross around her neck and admonishing her never to wear ornaments so as to remain humble. With Germanus's encouragement, Genevieve embraced a life of prayer and penance. At 15, she asked the Bishop of Paris to veil her as a consecrated virgin. She fasted rigorously, eating only twice a week, and practiced severe austerities. After her parents died, she went to live with her godmother in Paris. There she became known for her works of charity, caring for the sick, feeding the poor and visiting prisoners. She spent long nights praying in the city's churches. On one occasion, a gust of wind extinguished her candle, but she calmly relit it and continued, taking the incident as a sign to persevere. Genevieve received visions of angels and saints and prophesied events. These mystical experiences led some townspeople to accuse her of hypocrisy and false prophecy. They even plotted to drown her in a fiery lake. Bishop Germanus intervened to defend her, and she continued her ministry. The bishop placed Genevieve in charge of the community of consecrated virgins in Paris. As their spiritual mother, she guided them toward greater holiness. The mid-5th century saw the rise of the Huns under Attila, whose forces swept across Gaul. In 451, Attila's army threatened Paris. The inhabitants prepared to flee, but Genevieve gathered the women and urged everyone to stay within the city, fast and pray for divine deliverance. She assured them that God's protection was at hand. Encouraged by her trust, many spent days in the baptistry praying and fasting. Eventually, Attila turned away and marched toward Orleans, sparing Paris. Genevieve was hailed as the savior of her city. A few decades later, during the reign of Childeric, Paris faced starvation during a siege. Genevieve did not despair. She took the initiative to organize relief. Boarding a boat under the cover of night, she slipped past enemy lines with companions, traveled along the Marne and Aube rivers, gathered grain from sympathetic villagers and returned with 11 boatloads of wheat to feed the starving population. The pagan king was so impressed by her courage that he asked how he might reward her. She asked him to release prisoners, which he granted. When Childeric's son Clovis succeeded him, Genevieve became a trusted advisor. She encouraged the king's gradual conversion to Christianity, which culminated in his baptism after the Battle of Tolbiac. Under her influence, Clovis showed mercy to prisoners and allowed Christian practices at court. Genevieve also promoted the construction of a church to house the relics of Saint Denis and made pilgrimages to the shrine of Saint Martin of Tours. Genevieve continued her charitable works and prayer throughout her long life. She died in Paris around 512 and was buried in a church built by Clovis. Miracles soon occurred at her tomb. Parisian faith in her intercession grew. During the burning fever, an ergot poisoning epidemic, in 1129, Bishop Stephen of Paris ordered her relics to be carried in procession. Thousands of sick people who touched or saw the shrine were reportedly cured, and the epidemic ceased. Pope Innocent II later decreed an annual procession to commemorate the miracle. Over the centuries, kings and commoners invoked Genevieve during national crises. Her relics survived revolutions and wars, and a portion is still venerated in the Church of Saint Etienne du Mont. Today, Saint Genevieve remains a symbol of unwavering faith, civic courage, and compassion. Her life demonstrates that a humble shepherdess, anchored in prayer, can inspire kings, feed the hungry and protect a city through trust in God. On January 3rd, the Church honors her not only as patroness of Paris but also as a reminder that holiness and leadership can emerge from the most unexpected places.